Hello everyone, Amod here from the Target Common YouTube channel. In this tutorial of Playwright playlist, we will learn to use traditional locators like ID, name, tag name, class name, link text, partial link text, XPath, and CSS in Playwright script. Playwright already provides multiple locators to locate web elements, but still I want to explain how can we use traditional locators with Playwright. This tutorial will be helpful for people with knowledge of Selenium WebDriver and other similar automation frameworks to learn Playwright. Let me start with basics. Any web page may contain multiple web elements. I have created simple HTML page where I have different types of web elements. For example, this is header, this is input text box, this is a button. So this web page is basically created using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and there are many front-end tools which can be used to develop web pages. Every element on this web page will have their corresponding code which we can find by inspecting this page. You can right click anywhere on this page and select inspect, or you can select any web element, then perform right click and then inspect. Only difference between these two approaches will be when we select any particular web element and select inspect, it will highlight that particular web element in the DOM. You can see it is highlighted on UI or web page. If you want to perform action on these web elements using any web automation tool, then that automation tool basically will use a locator to identify that web element uniquely. For example, this username text box is a input type and this HTML code or tag contains ID, name and some other attributes like placeholder. So we can locate this web element using its ID or name. All the major web automation tools are providing these basic 8 locators: ID, name, class name, tag name, link text, partial link text, XPath and CSS. We will learn about locators provided by Playwright in upcoming videos, but let's see how many of these traditional locators we can use with Playwright. If I take the example of Selenium WebDriver with Java, so they provide some dedicated way to access or use these locators. But in Playwright, we don't have dedicated methods for every traditional locators. So basically, Playwright provides these kinds of locators like get by role, get by text, get by label. So let's start with locator ID. I have already created one simple spec file where I am loading this web page. This web page is available in my project under HTML-files folder. So I want to locate this username text box using its ID value, which is username. We don't have any dedicated method to use ID locator, but they provide one method called locator where we can pass these traditional locators. So we can use page.locator since I need to pass ID. So specifically I need to use ID keyword here and then pass the value like this. And as of now, I'm not going to perform any action, but I will just check this element should be visible. So for that, I can use expect and I will call the method to be visible. And obviously I need to use await. I'm going to launch UI mode to run my test. So open the terminal, then type npx playwright test dash dash UI. This UI mode I have already explained in my previous video. I'm going to run use traditional locator spec file. So here I have this run button. Click here. So here you can see in the action tab we don't see anything. This is happening because in this spec file we have test. So you need to expand this, then select the actual test. Then automatically you will see everything. And if you see this expect to be visible, this is highlighted. It means my username is visible. I'm going to enable watch mode because I want to change here something so that automatically my test will run without triggering manually. Just to make sure that my locator is working, instead of username, I'm going to use username 1. Let's save it and go to UI mode. My test will be running automatically, which you can see here. My test has failed, and if I go to errors tab, it shows it timed out after 5 seconds, waiting for locator to be visible. Playwright is not able to find any locator where ID equal to username 1. In some Playwright videos, you will see instead of using id equal to, they are using has. So if you use has, that is actually CSS. Let me correct this id value here and go to next locator, which is name. This username text box contains name attribute as well. Let me see if I can use name locator to identify or locate this web element. I will copy this statement. Let me use name and value is same. Let me save and see the UI mode. So you can see it is giving error. Unknown engine name while parsing selector name equal to username. So when we gave id equal to username, it worked because we have known engine called id. But for the name, we don't have anything in Playwright. That's why we cannot use name locator like this. Next additional locator is class name. If I inspect this login button, then you can see this button web element contains a class submit button. Let me use this class value and try to locate this web element in Playwright script. So let's copy, and here I can use await expect page dot locator. Let's try class equal to value then to be visible. Let me save and go to UI mode. Let's see what happens now. So here also we get the similar error as previously. Here also it says unknown engine class. While parsing, select a class equal to submit button. Let me try class name. Save it and go to UI mode. So again we get the similar error unknown engine class name. So Playwright does not have any engine like name and class name which we can use with page.locator method. Now let's use tag name locator here. So I'm going to use this input tag name. So await use expect then page.locator, and here no need to mention any engine like tag name or something. Just pass the HTML tag name which is input in this case, and let me call to be visible. Save it. Let's go to UI mode. So you can see it is giving error because when we use this input tag, it found 5 elements, and Playwright scripts always run in strict mode. That means they want locator to be unique to perform any action because it is confused which input element it need to verify whether it is visible or not. So instead of calling this to be visible, let me get the count. So I will duplicate this line and comment this one so that you can refer later. And instead of to be visible, I'm going to use count method. I need to remove expect here. Then I will have count method accessible here. And this I can store into a variable like count. And let me use console.log total input elements colon, and I can embed the count. So dollar then pass the count. Let me save and go to UI mode. The program is executed, and if I go to console tab, here I can see total input elements 5. Let's use link text. So generally in Selenium WebDriver, link text or partial link text are specifically for anchor web elements which starts with A, which is not the case in Playwright. I have one link here. If you inspect this link, you can see it starts with A and it contains one text account settings. So let me copy this text here. Await with expect, I'm going to use page.locator, and here I need to use text engine equal to give the value. Let me call the method to be visible. Save it, go to UI mode, and let's see. So you can see test is passed. If I remove the white space between these two words, save it, go to UI mode, and this time we are expecting my test should fail. So it is waiting for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds it is giving element not found. For the partial link text locator, we don't need to do anything extra. I can simply put only one word like settings. Save it in and go to UI mode. So you can see test is passed. Now let's come to the two major traditional locators, XPath and CSS. Let's quickly write XPath for this username text box. So I'm going to use placeholder attribute. So // input @ placeholder, then give the value. Copy this XPath, go to Playwright script and type await expect page dot locator, and here we need to mention XPath, then pass the value. I missed the double quotes, so XPath equal to value and call the method to be visible. Save it and go to UI mode. So it is giving error unknown engine XPath because we misspelled here. So let me correct it. XPath. Now save it and go to UI mode. So this time you can see test is passed. But in case of XPath and CSS, we can remove this explicit mention. So if I remove XPath, then also it is going to identify that this is XPath and it will work perfectly fine. So you can see test is passed. Now let's use CSS. So let's copy this username, and to make CSS, I just need to use hash with the ID value. So this is CSS. Copy this, go to Playwright script, and here I can use await expect page dot locator, and here I can use double quotes CSS, pass the value, then call the method to be visible. Similar to XPath, we can remove CSS from here. Go to UI mode, we can see test will pass again. So basically, except name and class name traditional locators, we can use other locators easily in Playwright script. But we are not required to use these traditional locators extensively in Playwright because they provide a powerful set of locators, which I will cover in upcoming videos. So that's all in this video. If you have any doubt, please comment on this video. If you really like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe and share with others. Thank you everyone.